Hello everyone and welcome to the Carcode YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name's Sam. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more new car reviews and car content every single week. A big thank you to DSG Morecambe Renault for making this video possible. I'm currently at the Westmoreland County Show. I had a few people ask me to review this car, so I'm going to be doing a quick walk around video on the etech, telling you everything you need to know about this car. This car today is the Espirit Alpine model, and this has got the £1,700 paintwork option of the shadow matte grey and then the contrasting black roof, so it looks like a really nice car. I'm going to be talking about the outside and the inside and some other specs on it as well. So if you didn't already know and you can't tell for the stickers on the stand and on the car, countries all around Europe have said what a great car it is, and yeah, it is a really good car. Well, I'm going to be talking about some of the key aspects on it today. It rivals cars like the Volkswagen ID4, the Ford Explorer EV, and many more. So it's got quite a lot of tough competition, but it's actually priced quite competitively, starting at £37,450 for the standard range model. The longer range model going up slightly. This car today, with its full paintwork option and everything on it, comes in at £45,190, but that's kind of like the starting price you see on the Ford Explorer EV, a car that I very recently tested out and was very impressed with. You can check that video out up there, but we're going to be talking more about the Scenic now. The Scenic E-Tech comes with two different powertrains. They're both front-wheel drive. You've got 160 PS or 220 PS, which is your longer range one. They've got different size batteries as well, with the standard one having a 65 kilowatt-hour battery and the longer range having an 87.7 kilowatt-hour usable battery, which works out to 92 kilowatt-hours. That gives you an official combined WLTP range of up to 379 miles, which is very impressive, highly competitive in this market. That trumps pretty much everything else in the class, so that is really excellent, and that's available now. You don't have to wait till the future for that to come out. With other cars, we've seen claimed ranges that are coming next year or the year after. This is actually on the roads now, so with 379 miles official range, you can realistically see a range of 300 plus miles, and even more so in the summer. So that is very impressive, and it's starting to see what people are wanting to get from electric vehicles now and what they're expecting, and it makes it easier to make the switch to an electric vehicle when it can do such a great range on a single charge. The charge port placement is on the near side here of the car. You can see it's on the front panel here. It's better than being directly on the front of the car like we see on the Honda ENY1, but I do prefer it at the back. It just makes parking a lot easier. I normally reverse park into spaces, so it's not the best, but it's not the worst. It does have fast charging capability as well. That just pulls out there and you've got it there. To the back of the Scenic, it's got a very striking look. It's very angular, and Renault's come such a far way in design. This whole range is here today, and it just shows they've come so far. In just a few years, they've done a great job. They've got these very sharp fin-like sections here, which are obviously for aerodynamics. Not sure about them. They are very kind of angular, but it does look crisp and clear, and definitely not what we're used to seeing of past from Renault's, where we see more of a rounded off shape. This is really refreshing to see from the brand. Electric tailgate as well. And you've got a really big size boot as well, which I'll talk about now. Boot space itself is an impressive 545 litres. You don't have a false floor, so you do have quite a big lip, but that gives you that bigger boot space. It's much bigger than the 450 litres we see on the Ford Explorer, and it's almost as big as the Skoda Enyaq, which is a little bit longer. That has 585 litres. So 545 litres, that's a very impressive boot size. Plenty usable for most people. A false floor would be nice to have the seats fall flat when you put them down, and this lip is quite big, one of the biggest I've seen in a car. So if lifting things in and out is a problem for you, this might not be the most practical boot solution, but in terms of literage and space, it is actually very impressive. Under here as well, you do have space for your cable. You could keep it underneath here. That's probably the best place to keep it. Of course, it's tire inflation kit, as we see on most new vehicles now. The electric power tailgate as well is also standard across the range, so it's not something you have to opt for, which is really great, and not something that we see on most electric vehicles. Most of them you've got to go for a higher trim, so you get a lot of equipment standard on the Scenic E-Tech. Now let's check out the space offered for rear passengers on the Scenic E-Tech. So Stepping into the back of the Scenic etech, what is it like? Well, you've got loads of legroom, that's what I first noticed. Quite a lot of headroom because it's got quite a boxy shape, even though it's not the highest riding SUV, which is quite nice. After all, the Scenic was initially an MPV, wasn't it? Not an SUV. You've got what Renault call the Ingenious centre armrest, which, to be fair, is quite clever. I mean, look at all this extra space it gives you. You've got these like phone holder sections here that go round, cup holders, extra storage there, and then that goes down. Gives you such a more luxurious armrest than what you'd normally get. So this puts a lot of cars to shame with that, and it is pretty ingenious. So I really like that. If you've got kids, they'll be very happy in the back of this car. This one does have a darker headlining, so it's not the brightest back here, and the windows aren't mega massive, so it does feel a little darker in here. However, on the top of the range model, you do get the panoramic sunroof, which is a really nice feature to have. One thing I absolutely love is the blue carpet inside the doors, and actually on the carpet, all the carpet is this blue colour, which is so stunning. It's such a nice touch. Instead of just a boring black carpet, it's blue and it brightens the cabin. It's so nice and it really adds to that premium feel. It really reminds me of Volvo used to have like the lava coloured carpets in the doors. I think they still do it. This is really nice as well. You've just got like a normal textile and then the leather. So you've got very comfortable seats. It keeps the temperature very nice because the outer bits, they might get hot in the summer, etc., cold in the winter, but they don't really touch you. Check the middle seat out. That's very good as well. So you've got quite a comfortable base, and the back isn't too hard. Even though you've got this ingenious armrest, it's got a built-in headrest on there. So it's so clever that I really like that design. I think that's very, very good. I didn't spot it when I first looked at the car. Also, you've got the ISOFIX points, which are really cleverly done. They just clip on and then you don't lose the caps. They're quite nice and out the way. For families, it's probably one of the best options out there. These are quite high up though, and you do have, you know, your tinted windows. So it's not the brightest back here, as I say, but with the sunroof on the top of the range model, you'll be pretty fine, I should think. You've got these gloss black door handles, which aren't too bad. And then the materials in the back are actually pretty decent as well. You've got pockets on the backs of the seats as well, which is another nice feature. So inside the Scenic etech, what's it like? Well, you've got these same dual screens that you have on the Austral and the Megane etech as well. Wireless phone charging on this one. It's a really nice screen. It's got Google built in, so it's quite advanced and they've done a good job with that. All this dash design is really nice as well. The fabric, it reminds me a lot of the new Minis have got that. They've normally got a bit more funkier colours, but this is very nice. I think it's the perfect blend of that kind of understated premium look, but also having a little bit of fun as well in the car with the materials. The Ford Explorer, I really like the materials in that car, but in terms of how it looks a little less exciting than this, so I do really like this. It has more of a fun vibe to it. I absolutely love the red, white and blue stitching on the steering wheel as well for the French flag. That's a really nice feature, and you also have little French flags on the seats as well, which is another quite Volvo feature. They've got the Swedish flags on their seats, so that's really nice. This screen is great. It's a portrait style screen, which normally I prefer a landscape, but I think this works quite well. You've got built-in Waze and things like that, so you don't really need to use your CarPlay a lot of the time because everything's pretty much built in. And then, yeah, wireless charging. So yeah, it's quite good. It doesn't feel like that big inside. It doesn't feel like the biggest car. It feels like quite compact. You've got this multi-sense button as well, which just changes your different modes on the car. And at 38% charge, it's showing 106 miles. Not a massive fan of the steering wheel, but I do really like the stitching at the top. I prefer if it was all like this, but you've got this Alcantara section down here. They're slightly different depending on each model. Just notice the ambient lighting as well, which is a really nice touch to the vehicle. The seats are very ergonomic as well. You've got this adjustable lumbar support here. And as I say, I quite like the part leather and then part cloth in the middle. It works quite well. On the seat belts on this Espirit Alpine model, you've also got the classic Alpine blue as well, which is, again, it's just little small touches like this that really make a difference, as with the blue carpets, which I think is stunning. Alloy wheels on the Scenic range between 19 and 20 inches. The standard are 19-inch streamline wheels on the Techno model. On the Espirit Alpine, it goes up to these 20-inch Speedway alloy wheels. And on the top of the range Iconic model, you get 20-inch Oracle alloy wheels, which remind me a lot of Peugeot's designs. They've got a little bit of French rivalry going on at the moment, similar designs on both vehicles, but these are really nice wheels. They don't look as though they're an electric car wheel, which is quite nice, as we've seen a lot of electric cars have very flat aerodynamic wheel designs, which make them look quite almost plasticky on some cars, but these look like proper wheels. These are definitely my favourite ones, the Speedway on the Espirit Alpine. They look the sportiest. They're all diamond cut, so they've got the silver and black. It makes a more impactful look, and they all look really stylish. What do I think of the Renault Scenic etech? Well, I think it's a great option if you're looking for a mid-size electric SUV. There's so many options out there on the market, and this is just something a little bit different. It offers those premium touches and a little bit of wacky styling as well, which I really like. More characterful than the Volkswagen ID.4, which seems quite bland, and a lot of electric vehicles have got the same idea. It's not as wacky and out there as some of the Hyundai and Kia vehicles, which might be too much for some people. So it's probably the perfect balance for a lot of people. Would I pick this or the Ford Explorer EV? I think they're quite a close competition. I'd have to drive this to find out. Of course, the Ford Explorer does have an all-wheel drive option. The quality of materials has been upped massively, and the design inside and out is very good. So it's quite competitive. It's very competitively priced on the market as well, and you do have nice design elements on the vehicle. So it's definitely one to consider. Thanks again to DSG Morecambe. They're here at the Westmoreland show. That's where I've done this video today, so thanks for that. All of their links will be in the description down below. Thank you to the Renault events team as well. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. I hope you enjoyed this one.